Right, you can see I'm wearing a different setup today. It's just a 2D woodland style camouflage. You can't actually buy this anymore, it's long out of production, over a decade ago. But a lot of people use pencott green, and there's other sort of mid-olive sort of toned camos you can find, con camo, all them kind of break-up sort of cams. And it's interesting because although they're not 3D, they do an excellent job of making you the right tone or blend in that sense. And some are more contrasted than this. This is actually looking a little bit soft now. There's very little hard tone contrast in it. So you know, depending on your environment, obviously somewhere like this field here, you don't want much contrast. You want to be flat. You know, you could crawl around in that field wearing this suit and blend in reasonably well, because obviously you're mainly behind cover. So the main advantage of wearing a 2D suit like this is there's just a lot less snags. I can just move around, I'm just quieter. There's just less bulk to make contact with foliage and make noise from friction. Because you know, once you get real into the game and you're out in the zone, and basically it gets that quiet part of the game, people go to ground or before contact, you can get to the stage where you can hear material. Oh, you can just hear that. It's called personal noise, but the reality is it isn't just personal. Other people will hear it, you know, and it's going to make a difference on the day as to how undetected you go when you're at close range and you're moving around. Because obviously I found a lot of time in game you're crawling into position to get the shot, and you might be quite close to the enemy at that stage, but you've still got to move a few meters or just get to that final firing position. And that's where having lots of bulk and snags and all the other downsides of large suits actually goes against you, because they're not that quiet. That's why you'll find a lot of players just wear the jacket. They'll wear the 3D leaf jacket and then they'll wear a pair of trousers. They're a lot smoother. I mean, this is like the hunting material, so it's even quieter than a lot. So, you know, you can really hear contact of your clothes rubbing together. So that's something to look for if you're buying any kind of 2D patterns. Is I'd look at hunting ranges. They have silent fabrics, you know, and they have a lot of non-military patterns that are more specific to areas or seasons. Like obviously this is nice olive, and it's quite hard to get that on a military sort of suit. A lot of the patterns are very dark olive or just more contrasty, you know, and more breakup. So don't discount two-dimensional concealment clothing. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's the backbone of where all these players have pioneered by adding things to existing 2D clothing and eventually come to 3D leaf suits and things you see today. But underneath all that clothing, you're still wearing your 2D fabrics, and you know, it's core to buy decent clothing for your rig. Other than that, you know, it's a real nice day to get out actually and do a bit of stalking. Obviously, whenever I'm talking to you, there's very little chance I'm going to bump deer or anything, because I'd be making no noise at all normally. But let's go see what we can find next. Right, so as well as my 2D clothing, I've also just got a camelback. All I've done with that is I've actually dyed it green and added a shock cord through all the D-rings all the way around, and zigzag them across like laces between the D-rings to make like a web of shock cord, and then basically added a few small pieces of light amounts of grass because I don't want to make it into a grass suit. And this is the GG ambush kit, and a few of my own bits on there as well. So it's more of a really lightweight, you know, this weighs absolutely nothing, and it's just easier to move around and crawl around especially. So it's another different approach, and you know, using this larger leaf camo, it's more for upright stalking. Now if you look in here, there's lots of holly bushes and tree canopy, and basically when you're moving around stood up and you're covered in grass, you're a very noticeable tan light object in there. So this is more for standing up, imitating bushes and trees and standing amongst them. So a different approach again. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds really in a way. You've got good movement, you can crawl unhindered, you're out covered in camo and snags, and yet you can walk upright and hopefully go undetected. And that's what this camo pattern's actually very good for. Although I said it doesn't have any really hard contrast, it still has some. So you can see these kind of light patches through here, kind of imitating that. Because obviously if you're just a large dark thing in a bush, it draws the eye, you look like a tree trunk or something that shouldn't really be in a bush. Whereas you've got lighter patches, you look more like, you know, parts of the canopy, there's bits of light that someone could maybe see through you, fools the eye again, and disrupts you into people thinking you're not one big solid object. So look for the lighter tones if you're playing an upright game, but not too much, otherwise, like I say, you'll give yourself away. So again, it's a mix. So consider the camo you have on your front is more for when you're upright or kneeling, whereas the camo on your back, your shoulders, I'd speculate is more for when you're prone on the deck. So your front might be very different from the camo you decide to wear on your back. That's never a bad thing, and you can always you know, adopt how you're laid down to suit the area. If it's lighter on your front, you're in a lighter area, you might turn over more, lay on your back. You know, these are all things to consider. So whatever you do, try and mix it up and adapt, and don't just come up with an idea and make it. You've got to take it into the field and see how it really works out in the actual foliage and season that you want to play in. So lots of testing, and especially with colours, don't rely on the human palette. You've got to be taking it out there, because people will tell you, you know, tree trunks are brown, grass is green, blah blah blah. Well, to be honest, a lot of tree trunks aren't even brown. If you bother to study them, they're more of a grey colour. So like I say, people have this preconception of what colours and camouflage is, and they're not necessarily correct. So get out into the field, put your suit down, move around, put it in sunlight, put it in shade, put it in areas that's mixed and mottled, hang it up so it's upright, do all these different tests to it, spray bits down while you're out there. I always take a can of spray with me when I'm adjusting suits out in the field, so I'm not doing it when I get home, I'm doing it there and then. If I feel, yeah, it's way too bright, I can just, and it's gone, you know. So spend time out in the field adjusting your kit. It doesn't have to be on a site, you know, you can just get out into the local woodland. It doesn't cost you any money, and it's an excuse to get out, do some exercise. Thanks for watching.